What up, everyone? It's John Brown, the one and only Bandana Gamer. And I'm back with Contravania. Oh my gosh, it has been months and months and months and months and eons, and suns have come into existence and faded into nothingness. But it is good to be back. Quick note, do want to say that 8-Bit Glitch is still a part of this, and he's my guy that loves Contra. I love Castlevania, and we mush our stuff together. But this is a special kind of episode that I wanted to do with these two amazing human beings. And it didn't really make sense to have him be a part of this, but he's still awesome. There will be more Contravania in the future. And Sean will definitely always be a part of that, because Sean's in my heart. And I miss Sean. But wanted to get to do this one. This is a reunion of sorts. Me, Ratboy, and David were a part of the Move Over Kids podcast. That I think, did we call that "Dangerous to Go Alone" at some point? Like, I feel like we named it that at some point. Did we? Or did we?
I think that was a tagline or something. Right?
Okay. Like, I feel like we tried to name it at one point. It was really just like the podcast. Hey, you guys want to be on the podcast? Because it was the podcast. All the cool kids are listening to that. Life happened. Kids are now in the picture. New jobs left and right. I know me. I'm like 2 kids a year ago. Which is, I think, when the a year ago this time, I had no kids, was working part-time, and I now have 2 kids, and now I'm working full-time, and so that's kind of cut into things. I know, Devin, you have a infant daughter, you're in some new lines of work. David, you've started a new job, you've turned 30, so we can no longer make young boy jokes anymore. Congratulations, you have become a man.
Finally.
So now death is around every corner, and I'm just going to make jokes about you dying. But let's get into it. So, I'm going to introduce these 2 wonderful cats. Ratboy Collectibles, the one and only Devin from New Jersey. How you doing, bro? Oh, Devin also, Ratboy, is a TikToker and YouTube personality. Knows a lot about toy collecting, game collecting, and Pokemon cards. Is there any other new hobbies I'm missing?
No, not really. Same stuff.
So, Devin, what's up, man?
Not really too much. Just I've been bouncing around through jobs and stuff lately, but not really too much different. Just taking care of the kid, making sure she's not going to die.
Yeah.
Pretty intensive job in and of itself.
Yeah, my little one jumps off stairs. Like, we'll randomly, hey, catch me! And what? And, all of a sudden, 40 pounds has flung itself from, 7 stairs up.
I'm glad that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. What was it on your...
how to walk.
I was about to say, what was it on your shelf she almost pulled over on herself?
Yeah, so earlier she decided to take this big bucket with thousands of little Pokemon dice and just strewn it about the floor, so, oh boy. This is all going to go bye-bye if I don't do something with it.
So she's setting up Home Alone traps, is what I'm hearing.
Pretty much,
she's looking to trip you up. So what is an awesome pickup that you've had recently?
The most recent thing that I've been most happy let's see if I can get it out of this box without breaking it. Japanese PS Vita.
Nice.
Nice.
Was the Vita region locked?
No.
Okay. But still, it's
which is the only reason why I picked this up, because it was my favorite color, and it's actually not damaged, so nice. I had to.
Yeah.
Usually I never find them where they don't look like they've been chucked down a highway.
And the main thing for you is there's a Silent Hill game on that.
Yes.
And then
I've been playing it too.
And then if we get time, we will talk about how Silent Hill continues to break your heart.
Yes, every time.
If we run out of the pre written topics, but hey, a lot of people are with you. I'm a Castlevania guy. They made an iPhone game. That's apparently a thing. Some good collections, but
yeah,
man,
that Turtles collection slaps. That's very good.
Yeah, David, have you picked up the Turtles collection?
No, I was going to, but when I wanted to pick it up, it wasn't officially released or something.
Oh.
It was only through limited run, right?
And no, that's the
a wide release.
So there's two games.
Shredder's Revenge.
That's there's a new game that is very much in the style of the old games, and then there's this collection of all the old games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't picked up either one, but I only knew about Shredder's Revenge, and I heard a lot of fun stuff about that one.
Yeah, both great. Like, Cowabunga Collection, I will say, is probably one of the best retro collections I have ever seen. And
yeah, it's got an immense amount of content, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, it just... And it was really funny. Like, it also, like, I was like, oh, man, Konami, look at you. You're doing some good things. You're putting out these great collections, and we get to Tokyo Game Show. There's rumors, and then they have a show, and that was a Konami show. A lot of, I mean, and once again, Konami's just a very different company. They make money in a very different way than AAA game space, and like that's they're also an intensely Japanese focused company that occasionally goes, oh yeah, we could do something business in America. But all right, well, it's good to check in with you now for a Contravania first. Contravania world premiere. DJ Castle, the man, the myth, the legend. This is David Castillo. He is out of Texas. What's up, David? How's life? What's going on?
Life is good, man. I am somehow finding ways to still play video games here and there. So it's not completely absent from my life. But it's kind of like the AAA title on a PS5 or just like an occasional Mario game that I can play in the background, after working during the day. So I haven't done any deep cuts like a JRPG or anything like that in a minute. I haven't really collected it probably a few months now. I would say like 2-3 months. But I'm still playing games. I just picked up Mario Party Superstars like a month ago, and that's a lot of fun. I'm surprised at what that game has compared to the last Mario Party title. But I've been playing that consistently, and then also Mario Golf, which I have my pros and cons about that one.
I personally really did not like that one.
The Switch one?
Yeah, the Switch one. Done by Camelot. I think Camelot did that one.
I think Camelot has done. I mean, Camelot, I know, did their sports games back on the GameCube.
Yeah, like Toadstool Tour and I think Power Tennis on the GameCube. But nice. What are the odds? There's some pros and cons to that. And then I picked up the Last of Us remake as a big Naughty Dog fan. I've been dissecting that and really sinking my teeth into like what it means for the future and if there's merit to that remake. So I've been kind of streaming that. Actually, I've been streaming on Twitch without my voice or image. I've just been playing it. So nice. If you guys want to check that out, it's D_Castle at Twitch. On Twitch. And so but that's what I've been up to.
We'll make sure to put that link in the description below, along with other links to find, like, Devin's TikTok and David's OnlyFans channel. That's great. He doesn't want to talk about it, but we'll make sure you get a link to it. But that's awesome. Devin, have you been playing much?
I picked up randomly. I got Splatoon, then I played that a little bit, but like I was saying the other day, unless you're playing the story mode, doesn't really seem like that much of a difference, even though it's still an awesome game. I love it, but either way. And then I started playing Luigi's Mansion randomly, and I've been kind of hooked on 100%ing that game again, so I'm almost there.
Nice. Kudos all around. I've picked up Splatoon 3, and it is looking lovely on that shelf. That is the way these days for me. Is like, I'll be like, the kids are asleep. I want to go to bed myself. But I have picked up Shovel Knight Dig, and I've been playing around with that, which is a really different kind of game than what I expected it to be. I was kind of thinking it was the sequel to Shovel Knight, and it is a Shovel Knight game, but it's not like the true sequel to the original. It's a roguelike, and you're trying to work your way down. What is that? Like, it's not side scrolling, it's vertical descending. I don't know.
Like Kid Icarus or something, right?
Yeah, except you're going down and not up. But yeah, it's been really good. It's kicking my butt. I can beat. There's like, it's apparently supposed to be fairly short, but it still kicks your butt. Like, so. And I'm not getting a good sense of like how each run like impacts you in a way that helps you later. Like Hades. I mean, Hades, like, you could, your previous run would like leave you with something that would help for the next turn, and you just keep building. Yeah. I'm not getting a good sense.
I liked Hades, but for like until I got past the first boss, and then I couldn't stand it. Like, literally vile. I don't know why I could not get any further.
Yeah.
It is a hard game. That first boss is pretty hard. If you're talking about the second.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I got past that first boss, and I'm like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I literally did not want to play it ever again.
I think that's been my feeling with roguelikes in general. It's just like, okay.
Well, not all of them were like the Dead Cells. Always pulls me back in randomly. Yeah. I really like that game.
Isn't
Finding
Returnal
Isaac too?
Isn't Returnal like a roguelike in the fashion?
Oh yeah, it is. It's they added a lot of different stuff to it a few months ago, I think it was. I don't remember, but they added some stuff to it that kind of revamped it a little bit. I played through that and just kind of waiting to see if they do it again.
Well, cool. And I will also say I've been picking up. I've been getting deep into Street Fighter lore and Street Fighter like I can play now. Street Fighter. I have the very same relation to Street Fighter that I have to football, American football. Like, man, I love to like go out, play a game of flag football and throw the football, but I also know I'm not that great at it, and I love watching professionals play. So that's like how I am with Street Fighter. I've been trying to get better, trying to main Ken, and I've been playing it mainly on the Steam Deck, which is awesome. And at some point in time, we need to talk about...
Which game specifically? 5?
Street Fighter 5. I have played the Anniversary Collection on there as well. But 5 is what I've been kind of maining for a bit.
When it comes to listening to people who play that competitively, it's like... You just broke my brain on how you're explaining that with like the mechanics of 2 as opposed to 3 and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, shut up, please.
Yeah, the level... I mean, it's like chess. Like, it's easy to learn, hard to master.
I've never been good at fighting games, so I don't even try.
Yeah, see, I love the genre, but I'm not like good at them at all. So
yeah, if I try to listen to like if there's like a YouTuber that does like fighting games, it's that explains it to like a casual audience. I'd say if you guys are familiar with Maximilian dude.
Okay. No, but I'm willing to learn.
Blonde guy, glasses on YouTube. He is like the most popular fighting centric YouTuber in a casual way. He's very knowledgeable and he tries to explain it in layman's terms, but hearing him talk about like CVS 3 or like the Alpha series or other Street Fighter entries, and he's doing like hands-on stuff with 6 right now, and he says like, oh, they've got this mechanic from 4, like Ken's Super is from 4, and then he also calls back to other entries, and it's really cool to see because I'm kind of like a very scratch the surface fan for Street Fighter, but I know that the lore runs deep.
Yeah.
And everything is there's a lot of goodies in there if you look for them. Yeah. But that's cool. Are you do you play competitively in any way, or you're
I'll watch. I like I said, I love watching like really competitive. I'm considering like I've looked at to like getting some coaching and seeing if I could get better at least on a local level. But at the same time, I just like I said, I love playing arcade mode. I love like going through and getting that like piece of story. But like I said, I also love just Evo. God, I loved watching Evo. And just what they think of and how they come at it. I can't turn my camera to it, but I have my Moment 37 Evo Moment 37 shadow box hanging up in the office now.
Nice.
Which, I was just and I have my Street Fighter Malibu comics right over there, which ridiculous series. I recommend if you can ever find these, checking them out, because it was a series by a very low level independent comic publisher that got the license and wrote 3 issues, and they did so poorly in these 3 issues that Capcom pulled the license. They're like,
wow. No
more, thank you. And like the last issue, they actually like, hey, so Capcom's not going to let us do anymore. Here's what we were going to do. They scalp Ken. Like, they flat out like have Sagat scalp Ken and send the scalp to Ryu.
Okay. Dark.
Yeah, it goes some places. Wow. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But
yeah.
So now let's get into if you ever watched us on the Move Over Kids podcast, we would we mainly discuss news, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. Generally on Contravania, we're kind of discussing a retro topic, but I want to get that feel. Most of the band is back together in some form right now. And so wanted to dissect some news and rumors, and we're coming off Tokyo Game Show. There was a Nintendo Direct, there was a PlayStation State of Play, not State of the Union. And then there were announcement shows. Some people did not need to have shows. Capcom did a lot to basically say Street Fighter 6 is still coming, and we all know that's coming. They did announce the full launch roster. But that had leaked. That leaked months ago. So all of Street Fighter 2's cast is there from the get-go. So which I think was a major fuss in the 5th game. Like, people were like, "Hey, Guile doesn't need to be DLC. We need Guile there from the get-go."
Right.
But wanted to first talk about a rumor. And David is rocking a PlayStation shirt. I wanted to talk about the PlayStation rumor out there, and that a PlayStation 5 revision, a slimming down, a PlayStation Slim, is coming. And apparently the rumor is that they will go to strictly an all-digital SKU, that will be all that's out there, is this slim digital PS5, and you can then also buy a disk drive an external disk drive attachment that will hook it into USB-C in the back. And some pretty credible leakers have said this is legit. I think it's an interesting move, and we can get into that. But what are your guys' initial impressions? David, you start us off.
I think there's definitely I could definitely see that happening. I honestly thought Sony had already come out and confirmed development of some kind, but it makes a lot of sense for me because, well, 2 years later, it's still really hard to get a PS5. You can't just walk into the store and get it. Supply chain issues. So maybe the silver lining here is that they can introduce a new model 2 years later, and also in tandem create a new model that is easier to maybe produce, that maybe there isn't a shortage for that model. I'm not a like an economics expert by any means, but I think it would be, it feels early. I don't think there's ever been big console pro models introduced this early, has there? Let's see.
I mean, so this will be next year.
Okay.
And that's going to be year 3.
Okay.
And I want to say 2016 is when the Slim... And I mean, it's a Slim. It's not really a Pro. It's going to just do what the PlayStation 5 does, just maybe in a small... Which, I love my PlayStation 5. It's a fun system. It does need to be smaller. Ain't going to lie there. Like...
It's massive.
I'm looking at it now, and it's pretty huge.
I keep having chimpanzees walk into my house and touch it and learn how to use weapons. You know, that's what this thing does. But yeah, so I think a slim. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think 2016 is when the Xbox One S rolled out. So we're about due. And I think with supply chain issues, I think generally that means they've figured out how to get a little more bang for the buck out of the... I mean, I am not an economics expert. You know, we'll talk to Devin about that in a little bit with his PhD in micro and macro economics. But okay, what is the music?
That's probably the clock. Just disregard that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just figured we were at a save
no
point.
worries.
I just figured we were at a save point, and our party. We're going to use a tent. We're going to get our stats back up. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, basically, yes.
But yeah, I think we're at the point in time where we would generally see this. Now, once again, I mean, I'm with you. It's crazy to me. We are entering into year 3 for these things. And that's, to me, it still feels like they just came out, and I guess that is supply chain. So, yeah, Devin, what's your thoughts on a smaller, slimmer PS5?
Well, I'm sure it's going to kind of like make some people happy, being the fact of the digital age that a lot of people like to be into when it comes to not actually having like the physical media. The fact that they haven't even had the normal one on the shelves yet just kind of feels like a slap on the face, to be honest. I don't even know. It just seems like it's too early in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, it still feels very soon, but...
And the fact that also this whole separate secondary disk drive that you would actually hook up, I feel like the speeds would be weird and something about the games wouldn't work. And it just kind of screams back to the HD DVD drive for the 360, which also was a massive failure.
Well, I mean, so that was also
I
HD
feel like
DVD
this thing is going to
huge
get
failure.
screwy very quick.
Yeah.
There's a weird thought about having a slim model, but also having like the caveat being that you have to have this peripheral or accessory to like kind of beef up your storage or whatever. It's like, hey, It's slim, but we highly suggest getting this thing that you can hook up to it, which you do that with any modern current gen system in a way, but it's like they're kind of they're kind of bringing more attention to it, and it's like, I kind of wish you could just get what you want out of the box instead of being like, oh, now as soon as I open it and set it up, I then have to plug it into an external thing, which
it's to the point where, to me, like if I didn't have the PS5 already and that was the only option, I would straight up boycott it. I would never buy it. That would just be pointless for me. But there is people that would. I know they would. It just, to me, seems silly.
This has been a weird thing for me. I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but like being in the workplace and being around people my age and younger now, like I kind of get looked down on for having physical media. I had a friend come over to watch all AEW's pay-per-view, and he's like, "Oh, you're really into physical media." I'm like, "Isn't everybody?" And one of my coworkers, I was talking about picking up a movie. They're like, "You still buy physical movies, boomer?" It's like,
I get that, dude.
We're the dinosaurs, dude.
It's like the age of you don't own anything, so those servers disappear. It's gone. That
argument rubs me raw.
But it's true, though.
Dude, I can't go out and buy this anywhere. If I lose this, I have to go find a used copy.
That's because you have it already.
But, like, if lose it or break it, it's the same thing. Like, it just happens. Like, that's life.
Nobody can go buy PT for the PS4. That just doesn't work.
Well, that's Sony. That's Konami, and...
But still, it's a digital download that has been dead because of
it's also a game demo, and, like...
You know the point I'm trying to make. Don't start with me.
Yeah, that's not where we're going on this one. But I'm going to be honest. I kind of think it's a smart move. The more
my question is it actually going to be a different model, or is it just that there's like, okay, we can't make the disc one, so just let's release the non-disc version with a hard drive or with a CD drive
with the possible attachment. Because I think there would have to be an additional. The way I've heard is a USB-C port that is not there now.
But I mean, I've never personally seen one of the non-disc drive versions of the PS5, but I've seen pictures and they look way smaller. So,
I mean, I don't think they're way smaller. My understanding is this is going to be pretty small. Like this is also going to look physically different, kind of akin to how the PS4 Slim looked to the original PS4,
or maybe like the Series S to Series X, where the Series S is just like this little brick, right?
Yeah,
it's a little tiny brick. Like,
yeah, it's a tiny console.
Really tiny.
Now that's
a little guy.
That's the interesting thing I'm curious about, because one thing that's going on, Xbox Series X and S, primarily the S, is outselling the PlayStation in Japan on a regular basis. And it is primarily the S. And I am curious if Sony is I mean, Sony doesn't want to give up that ground, you know. I mean, I'm not
on home turf.
Yeah,
not at all.
And I mean that's been their main bread and butter. Now worldwide, Sony is, I think, 5 million units ahead. But I mean, Microsoft once again is playing a very different ball game. They really just want you to have services. They don't care if you have an original Xbox One. If you're signed up to Game Pass, they're happy.
Right. Yeah.
But the Series S is this smaller little thing. They've got, like, as someone who has now done storage upgrades for both consoles, while it's more expensive, it is so much easier just to slide that card in the back of the Xbox than, you know, yank the thing up, and which was I'm with you, Devin. That was annoying.
I've never even done the upgrade on the Series X, and I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's what we've always done. It's like taking a memory card and, whoop, it's in there.
Yeah.
And they had the 512 memory cards on sale for $70, so I think those are going to drop. I think those are going to drop, and I think we'll see those drop.
If they have a decent price, it might actually
drop around November or so.
Did the Halo Series X have a bigger hard drive, or was it the same?
They all came with 1 terabyte.
No.
The Xbox Series S has a 512 in it. So, but
do you guys think that? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you guys think that there will be some, even though the PS5 has sold like millions of units, do you think that there will be some type of rarity to like the first iteration of the PS5 model down the line, kind of like how the fat 80 gig 4-port PS3 is like the most sought after, which is the one I have, which is I think the best one because it's got like 4 ports and I think it's got something in there.
And everything.
I mean,
do you guys think that akin to that?
So the big reason for the PS3 is also PS2 backwards compatibility. I mean, that model is PS2 and PS1 backwards compatibility, where all the other models just could play PlayStation 1. Devin, what's your thoughts?
What was your question exactly? I kind of
just that, like, how that 80 gig model is the most sought after PS3 model of do you think that this first iteration, this 2-year iteration of the PS5 that no one could get their hands on, do you think down the line that it would be the most sought after just because it's like, well, it was hard to get in the first place?
Are you talking about the one with the disc that's already been out?
Right, yeah.
Well, I think it will be, mainly if they nix the disc drives completely. Kind of the same thing because they took off the SD ports and all that stuff off the PS3 and they took away the backwards compatibility. I think because of that, yeah, it's probably going to be sought after, but it's also going to turn whatever's new out there into more scalper bait, in my opinion, which is the thing that I'm waiting to see.
So I'm going to disagree, and mainly I don't see much of a retro collector's market for anything past the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation.
You are very true on that. I'm noticing that more and more working at that shop every weekend.
Well, right now it's still a little too early. I mean, and even though PlayStation 4 outsold Xbox like nearly 2-1, they both sold a lot. Like the Xbox One passed the Super Nintendo in terms of sales, but and this is why like I kind of find the whole digital physical. Yeah, I've talked to y'all about this before. It's like even our physical media is still a digital copy. We put that disc in, and other than limited run game stuff and a few indie stuff, everything updates. Everything gets patched. If you play when those servers go down, and you put in you put in a copy of Cyberpunk, and you've never put a copy of Cyberpunk in your console before, you are going to get a broken mess of a game.
Yep.
And you're going to have to go to repositories to get the updates. And so, like, that's why, like, I just like the physical thing. Like, all that real disc does is initiate and install and then initiate. Generally now, larger downloads. And then it tells your system, hey, they own this game. They can play it. And it's nice. And it's shelf candy. And that's where I come in, because I love my shelf candy. I love to look at the box art. I love, and so I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I'm just like, the digital physical battle has already won. They threw us a bone, that they just kind of gave us this nice little thing. I mean, even the Switch, which is a physical cartridge, it doesn't write the updates to the cartridge. It writes it to your memory. So, yeah, I don't see those ever being as big a deal. Now, if they get modded and hacked, or, I don't know, maybe servers are just going to stay up forever. And another thing is I could be way wrong, because one of the most sought after PS4 physical games is the original copy of Fortnite, which has nothing on it resembling what Fortnite is now.
I remember seeing that at the store for like
pennies.
What was it? Yeah, nothing.
I remember seeing it
GameStop,
too. I think I saw it at a $5 clearance rack.
I remember being at Play and Trade with my manager Dan, just like looking at PS4 games coming out. I picked up one. And I was like, "What is Fortnite?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. It's about to get free to play." I was like, "Oh, okay. This won't be a big deal." And other stuff that has gone free to play, like the physical copy, became worthless. Like DC Online Universe. Those discs,
dude,
were frisbees.
I remember when that first started getting sold, and then it went free to play. There was a copy for the PC sitting in my local Walmart for at least a year and a half after it went free to play. It was just sitting there. I went occasionally just to say, "Oh, is it still there?" Yeah. It just made me laugh every time.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you: does this mean Microsoft? Now, here's what I'm curious about. And like I said, this is going back to the Japanese thing, that Xbox Series S is really doing well over there. Xbox S is really doing well, and I think a lot of places because you can get them. Does Xbox have to come out with a disc drive for the Xbox S if Sony does this? And can Sony get their... can Sony get their digital console with like a full-powered PlayStation 5... digital only, down to the $300 price point, and make it competitive? Could they make a smaller digital only PS5 full powered that competes directly with the Series S?
If it's available, if they produce bukus of it, I think they have a really good chance of fighting that fight, because it's sought after. People just want PS5 hardware. No matter digital, I see the digital ones sell out sometimes faster than the physical ones, albeit minutes from each other. But I think people are just rabid for anything PS5 right now. So if they produce enough and it's at a competitive price point, I could definitely see it flying off the shelves. Definitely.
Now, I mean, the other flip side of that is Sony in a lot of territories is raising the price of the PlayStation 5. So I don't know, like if
the tax of the parts, right?
Yeah, I mean, global economics. Xbox is pretty much has committed to not raising the price, but they're a part of Microsoft, which means there are other parts of that company that can really take. I mean, Xbox is kind of a baby project of Microsoft that they kind of just like, we want this to be a thing. We like this being a thing. We don't really make money off this thing, but F it, we're Microsoft. We make money in a lot of places. And Sony, I mean, PlayStation 5 is, like, PlayStation is their big money maker. Like, it is the biggest money maker for that company. And that, I mean, that's why they can't really compete with Game Pass. They even like claim out and said like we cannot financially viably make a subscription service where we put our day one releases on it. Like we can't. I mean, we can let you play this old stuff and stream some things, but yeah, we have and to be fair, Sony has a much better back catalog than Xbox, but yeah, so. It's fascinating. So, are y'all going to get a slim model PS5 if it comes out?
I think. Yeah, me too. I think the way it's on the shelf right now and how, well, for me, I think I got lucky in terms of like it wasn't hard for me to get mine. Like I just kind of was like, I wonder if I could get one. Add to cart. Oh, looks like I can get one, and then I bought it. So there was never really a chase with them. There was more of a chase with other people's PS5s that I was getting for them, instead of my own. So I'm cool with this guy. I rocked the Fat PS3 the entire generation. I rocked the Nathan Drake Uncharted 4 PS4 an entire generation. I didn't do the pros at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of one that like I'll get. When it comes to like the other consoles besides Nintendo, I just get the base one and I kind of rock with it forever. Nintendo's a different story though. I feel like I just want every like piece of hardware that they put out, no matter what, even if it's incremental. Like
Daddy
I bought an
needs
OLED model.
Daddy needs that medicine.
Yeah, pretty much. I bought the OLED model on a whim, and I was like, I don't need this, and then I returned it. Which was, I'm surprised I even did that, but I was like, someone else can have it. But maybe because the Nintendo systems feel more like actual like toys, and not in a cheap way, but like in like this new toy that Nintendo just put out. It's enticing.
Yeah. No, I got suckered in. I have all three of the Switch models. I have the launch, the Lite, and the OLED, and Devin has like not every, but he has a lot of his variants.
I had the launch, but I traded it when I got the version 2 with the Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But then I have one Lite and one Monster Hunter one up there.
Did you get rid of that the Ganon Doom one?
Wait, what? Oh, no, I did
Diablo,
a long time ago.
Diablo
I forgot about that. Yeah, I did.
That's such a cool one. Like the fact that it was a Diablo Switch is just such a amazing. But that Monster Hunter,
I kind of wish I did keep that one, to be honest.
That Monster Hunter Rise one is dope too.
It is.
Well, and I was like, Devin, I know it being an all digital console, you are not likely to go get one. Let me ask you this: are you going to go to Walmart, buy a rocking chair, sit the rocking chair in front of Walmart, and just fuss at kids that come out with one?
It's old man yells at the clouds in the sky. Can't remember that, okay?
Back in my day, we had physical media.
Exactly.
We had to walk 15 miles in the snow to put our games in the console.
Damn straight we did.
But cool. I'm with y'all. Like I've got to play. I'm not a big enough Sony guy that the variations really matter. I got the launch PS4, stuck with that, felt good about it. Played, when Final Fantasy VII came out, it was still gorgeous on that console. And I've got my launch PS5, and I'm with you, David. I had a harder time getting Devin's PS5 than I did getting my getting my own. But I waited on that. Like it was my signing bonus for taking the new full-time job. I'm like, now it's time.
Nice. I know you're enjoying the games that you played on that.
Yeah, so far, Astro's Playroom is actually really good. Like, it is honestly, I think, the best hack-in since Wii Sports. There's not been enough said. Like, I felt like there wasn't enough said about that as a pack-in. I mean, it was talked about briefly, but I'm like, that's a really.
I heard a lot of people saying that they liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's short, but it does a lot of cool. It does a really good job of like what Wii Sports is, like showing you the controller's cool things, and it's a love letter to PlayStation history, and I do love video game history. I freaking, that's the main reason I'm enthralled with Smash Brothers. I'm like, it's all here. I don't know what to do with it, but it's all here. My meta game is
here too.
I don't have a meta game. I don't play Meta Knight, so I don't know. Why is Ryu not doing his fireball as well? What is this B button? But I digressed. We can talk. I actually did want to check in with David. Like, are you okay now that we're not getting Smash Brothers content anymore? Are you okay?
It's almost been a year since, right? Next month is since Zora came out, so that would be a year later.
Wow. That was like one of the last big things we did as a group is where we streamed that on your channel. On
my channel, yeah. Which it just doesn't feel like it feels like a year ago, but it doesn't feel like a year ago. But it was definitely the swan song for that title, that Smash title, and it was beautiful. It was like a beautiful send off. But I'm actually okay that capped off everything, especially now because Sakurai is a YouTuber and he's putting out content, and I'm getting like little alerts at 3 a.m. of like a little 2-minute video of like why he adds certain sound effects to his games or how he created Kirby, and it's like, this is exactly what I want. He never has to make a game ever again. He just give us free knowledge, please.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's an amazing channel. I really like the stuff that he's put out there, and he actually, it's crazy that I would hear Sakurai say like, comment, and subscribe. Like, I've never thought he would ever say those things, but he says it on his channel.
Nice.
It's kind of a weird world that we live in, for sure.
Yeah, I mean. I'm very curious about like I'm doing a lot of thinking of like Nintendo Next, like what is, because we're year 5 for the Switch, we're coming up on year 6,
right,
and
came out in 2017, I think.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So this is year
March.
5, and year 6 will start with we'll start soon. I've been thinking a lot, like, what is the next because like, is it just a more powerful handheld that can go into a dock? I mean, because that part of the trick's been done, and I'm worried that we're gonna have like a Wii to Wii U situation where they kind of woof it. And I really cannot tell you like what is the idea, what is the thing to get people to buy another console. And I was thinking like Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I'm like, you can't do the same Smash thing again. I think me and you may have talked about this. Like, Smash, if it comes back, has to be radically different. I think you do something like Power Stone with Nintendo characters. Like, you now have Smash Brothers 3D.
That would be fun, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Nintendo, if you're listening, patent pending. But yeah, but that's a good segue, because let's be direct about this. Let's be Nintendo direct about this. I'm getting laughs. I'm an only child. I'm addicted to that. So there was a Nintendo Direct, mainly, and I bring this up, like, it was also Tokyo Game Show season. Tokyo's E3. So it was primarily, to me, that was the big thing. Like, it was connected to Tokyo Game Show. even though it wasn't an official Tokyo Game Show. Thoughts and feelings. What was your favorite thing to come out of that direct that was not Tears of the Kingdom? We'll talk about Tears of the Kingdom in a bit.
I have to kind of think back a little bit of what that was last week or 2 weeks ago now, right?
Yeah,
it was
something like that.
For me, it was definitely seeing that the Fatal Frame that they re-released on the Switch and the PS5 and stuff did well enough that they're going to bring over another one. So I thought that was awesome. And Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
That was just completely out of left field. Like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Like, oh, okay. Pikmin still exists. Awesome.
Did you feel like they showed enough of Pikmin? I mean,
the demo wheel thing that they played was good, but it didn't really kind of do very much to wet the whistle, so to speak.
mm-hmm.
It just looked like the same type of footage that they could have used in the past games.
Okay.
So, to me at least.
I have no real connection with Pikmin. I don't think I've actually ever played a Pikmin.
The first one I played was 3.
Not anti-Pick-Eye, but, just not something that's ever been grabbed.
But that's all I can really remember.
Yeah, well,
to me, such a
it,
long time ago now that I can't remember what came out.
It was a smidge more than the Metroid Prime 4 reveal, and I was like, I didn't think y'all did this anymore. It is supposedly coming next year. That was a weird moment in the Direct, and I felt like that was like the antithesis of the Direct, because like, here's Miyamoto. Oh my gosh, like what's Miyamoto gonna do? Like, it's Miyamoto, and we get, hey, we're still working. Those cool things. That Super Mario Brother movie. That like Super Mario theme park stuff. We're working on it. You want to play this mobile game about Pikmin? Let's talk about it for 3 minutes. And by the way, here's some screenshots. They're very basic. You can look from the eyes of the Pikmin now. Bye! It was like, okay.
The other thing that I thought was cool, I don't remember the full title, but it's something called Rain Code. The same people that made Danganronpa.
Oh, that did look pretty neat.
That looked really neat. Like, I wasn't sure of it at first, but it looked really cool.
And what's
it's
it
like
called?
A David Cage game, but Japanese.
What's it called again?
And Kirby Dream Land Deluxe. That I wasn't expecting.
It's called Rain Code.
All right, so I don't remember this. Talk me through what this was.
So the devs from Danganronpa are working on like their like a different game in their echelon of games that they've developed.
The art style looks exactly like Danganronpa, though, like to a T. It's like the exact same thing.
It's kind of like visual novel-esque, and it's got like an array of characters that people are probably gonna like really gravitate towards. But it's like it's kind of like
it's like a murder mystery thing or something like that.
The Yakuza Judgment. It's like the like Judgment, but in like chibi anime form.
Mm.
So it looks kind of cool. Music sounds fun. Yeah, Kirby. Anytime Kirby's mentioned, I'm kind of excited. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really interesting, because this was like a deluxe version of the Wii title, Return to Dreamland, and the art style is slightly different. There are bold lines in it, and it looks nice. I really like it. It's just kind of like, I think they're continuing the 30-year anniversary of Kirby. And they've given us, like, in the last 6 months, they've given us a lot of Kirby, which I'm not complaining about. But they gave us Dream Course. They gave us Forgotten Land, this new title, and I think a couple other things that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I want to say there's one other free-to-play thing.
But I'm not complaining, but it's definitely, the changes they're doing to this are, like, they're adding a copy ability, and they changed the art style, and DDD looks more like Forgotten Lands version instead of like Club Penguin. Or no, he looks like Club Penguin now. He doesn't look like the weird like platypus from the Wii era. But it's just, this whole thing's interesting because this, I guess the bones of this game are from a canceled Kirby game way back in like 2005 to 2007 era that was shelved, and then was later salvaged and became the Wii game that we knew back in 2010 or 11. So that's really cool that they're giving this a lot of life. It seems like 2D Kirby is here to stay. So it makes me wonder if they're gonna keep doing this with Kirby, maybe like a
if they want to drop another remake like that, I would say Crystal Shards, man.
Crystal Shards. If they did Crystal Shards and like a quality of life looks a little bit nicer, and add some stuff like scrap content, they could keep churning that thing out, man. Because it seems like 3D Kirby was really successful for them.
No.
Like I think it's the second best best-selling Kirby game of all time. Second best. First one is still Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy.
That's a dope game. That's a really good game. Like I am nowhere near the Kirby guy that you are, but the first Game Boy game is really awesome. The first Nintendo game is also the Kirby's Adventure, I think is what the first Nintendo. I mean, that game on Nintendo looks so good. And I will say, I did not. Was it Star Allies was the first
Switch
one?
Yeah.
I hated that game. I put that in and I was like, this is slow. This is garbage. I don't ever want to play a Kirby game. And then Kirby,
I found it to be obscenely easy to beat though.
Yeah, I mean, it just it was not compelling to continue. And then they started showing the stuff for the Kirby of Us. I mean, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. And I was expecting a very Mario Odyssey game.
So was I.
And then it's very much more Super Mario 3D World where the levels are
fixed camera.
Well, more linear in. But I mean, you get value for exploring the level, but it's a much more you start point A, your goal is to get to point B, which that is great gameplay. I've loved that gameplay for 30 plus years now. I'm not knocking it, and I love that game. That was a great game. I was like, okay, and then it made me pick up Planet Robobot. And that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. So I'm intrigued to pick this one up.
And then you could play with I think you can play online, which is what they're alluding to. I know they said local, but it would be an added bonus if they did online, because then it's like, hey, you and 3 other buddies can play this game and give it a new lease on life, essentially.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, especially if Nintendo's online support, it's better. It gets there. And I'm going to bring up something from the Direct because to me it's the wonkiest thing, just because of what happened sideways after it. Was Nintendo's online expansion pass with the fancy N64. We're getting some really good N64 titles, as good as N64 titles can be, because the N64 is still Nintendo's dumpster fire system. I said it. Come at me. Pilot Wings. I forget what else, but GoldenEye, the long sought after GoldenEye, is making its way to the expansion pass, and announced. Every man my age peed their pants. Thank God, finally. And then, which this is a rare game, so that means it's a Microsoft's hands are somewhere. And then after as the Direct is going on, I think Microsoft starts tweeting that a up-resed version, it's not the same thing as what's coming to Game Pass, and it's not this, apparently there was a rumor that there was a very well done remake, remaster out there somewhere that Nintendo just wouldn't allow to be a thing. And that the Xbox version is coming to Game Pass. It's higher resolution, higher frame rate, I'm assuming, but it has no online support. The Switch version is what has online support, which is weird. I mean, of those consoles, the one you would expect to have online support is not the Switch. Like, Xbox bread and butter is online support. And I have to assume that's a timed thing. I think that was something that had to be done to get Nintendo into bed, because Nintendo plays it coy. Like, it's like at least seventh date, you know, and you know the workings and the licensing, and then the cool thing, and I think this is the coolest part of the story, is it's going to be on Game Pass. Probably means you can buy it separately digitally. But if you own Rare Replay, like that, what, 2015 I think is when that collection came out. So 7-year-old, right. 8-year-old collection, they are updating it, and you get GoldenEye for free. You can run to GameStop, pick up that game with a copy of Gears of War Remastered for like less than 10, like $15 maybe, $10-15, and you get GoldenEye. So
I need to see if I still have that. I had it at one point. I just don't know if I still do.
Like, if you're a Nintendo fan and with an Xbox, like, that is a must-own title. Like, it's a really good collection.
Yeah, you got Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie, I think, on there.
Yeah, you got the three, and you know, the beloved Nuts and Bolts game that everyone loves. Really, the pinnacle of the series, the favorite.
Don't get me started on Banjo, man. I wish in a parallel universe someone has Banjo 3, you know, out there.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what Papa Spencer can help us out with, you know.
Would love to see something like that. Microsoft. That's a topic for another day, a podcast for another day. Microsoft's got to deliver in 2023. Like, they really, like, you know.
Yeah, which conference was it? Their E3 conference that was just not really like firing.
This year was very. I mean, their big tentpoles all got screwed. I mean, just Starfield got delayed, Redfall got delayed, which we're gonna be there too big, and then I think Stalker. Like, they had two other big ones that were exclusive, and they were by Ukrainian studios, and Ukraine had some stuff happen that delayed their video games. And that sucks. But I mean, they've had a lot of those studios for a while now. And there's fun stuff coming, but it's all little stuff this year. So they've really got to pull out the stops in 2023. But hey, Game Pass is still killing it. It's still one of the best things value-wise out there.
Definitely not wrong there.
Says the Xbox stand. Fully admit. So, anything else from the Direct we want to throw out there? I mean, it was
funny.
I mean, do you like farming?
So, yes, that's what
I mean, like, there's a lot of farming.
Like, a lot.
Well, I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Animal Crossing. I mean, Animal Crossing sold in such a way that really, and Stardew Valley has like made such an impact. I think everybody's like, oh, maybe people don't want to shoot and kill all the time. You know, maybe some people just want to grow.
I think if these titles were announced during COVID year, they would have sold. They would probably guarantee would sell a lot of copies.
I think they're set to do fairly well.
Yeah, they'll do fine. I just remember the craze with like the farming, like Stardew Valley was being talked about again. Animal Crossing just like coincidence just came at the wrong time, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, farming sims are any sims. Like, you'd be surprised. There's a big crowd for sims people. One of my coworkers is an older dude, 55, and he plays a lot of Planet Tycoon. And I didn't even know that was a thing outside of Roller Coaster Tycoon or City Tycoon. So, yeah. So I guess people really jump into that sometimes. But
I do find it funny that Nintendo dropped more spooky stuff than Konami did. I don't understand that.
I mean, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to just kind of be honest with you, Devin. Like,
what you gonna say, huh?
Disney Plus dropped more spooky stuff than Konami
They
did.
did, though. No, but Nintendo dropped this. I think it's been out before on like Steam and stuff. A game called IB or ID or however you want to call it. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
Something
If there's
I'm
any,
definitely interested in.
not trying to get your hopes up, Dev, but you're hearing about these rumors from Silent Hill, right?
I'm
The
done
short
paying
message.
attention to these damn rumors. I am so done.
Hey, there's a Switch Pro and a Silent Hill coming somewhere.
Yes, somewhere.
Parallel universe.
I was about to say the new one today was that South Korea. Rated,
Wrong Korea.
That's why they haven't been able to get Silent Hill out. It's coming from North Korea. There's all kinds of problems.
Oh my god. That's true.
But no, that South Korea's rating board has rated a game called Silent Hill something.
The short message, or a short message.
Yeah, which will probably be a mobile game.
Yeah, or a pachinko machine. But
I want to make a promise right here, right now. Like the day a Silent Hill mobile game is made, I want to jump on this conversation and just let you have the platform. Just let you have the platform to do what you need to do, Devin. I just want it recorded for history's sake.
Okay. We can hold that.
That's gonna have a pitchfork at the ready.
Yeah,
dude. I was sitting there watching that Tokyo Game Show thing. I'm like, please, nothing. Like, so bad.
Hey, you got 20 minutes of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! So much reading that it makes my brain hurt. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
That was, yeah.
So,
yeah. Go for it, David.
I actually don't know what else was announced. I've already kind of forgot, but I do wish. It's kind of weird that Super Mario Party got such a late update. I don't know if you guys remember, like last year or the year before, got like an update like 3-4 years after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope. Yeah, they added a board and some things. I really hope that they support Superstars, because Superstars actually has some quality content. You know, like if you play it consistently, there's achievements in it.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, I mean,
there's only 10 characters.
That's so weird. Like I mean, I'm still like flabbergasted that by this like mega pass for Mario Kart 8. That just like we released that. I mean, not even the fact that it's a Wii U game, but like how long after had it been released on Switch that we like finally go, hey, we're gonna do DLC for this now. Like,
4 years, easily 4 years
like,
later.
Your best selling game by far, like Country Mile. We'll get to DLC. Well, we may not do DLC. I don't know. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but I really hope that like Team A or whatever team, Tokyo company of Nintendo, another in like 3 teams. I really hope they have some people on like the Mario Party games or the Mario sports games. I know like Next Level does Strikers and Camelot does golf, but like someone that can like maybe like supervise the other Mario like party games.
No.
You know, because Superstars, like if they give us 5 more boards and 10 more characters, they really got something there, and maybe more mini games. But that game is really cool because it's a celebration of all the Mario parties. You'll see what Mario Party it's referencing on the top right corner, like Mario Party 3 or game, or Mario Party 5 or 6, and it's a celebration, and it's a lot of fun. But I know that there's more potential. Like there's a lot of potential that they can add. They can add so much to this game. It's a lot of fun. Well, Mario Golf, different story, but
that seems like something they have done with the Switch is like the side Mario games, tennis, soccer, golf, and Mario. Well, the first Mario Party, they launched them in kind of very bland states. And I
Same
don't
thing with
think
Mario
they.
Strikers. They apparently kind of like let that one just meh.
Yeah, I mean,
I never picked it up
yeah,
though.
I tried both tennis and golf, and I loved previous iterations of those.
The Mario Tennis that they released on the Switch, I thought was fun. The golf, I found, I don't know if it's just because I don't like golf.
I don't know. There was just There was like too much going on where it just didn't feel like a tennis game to me. And then it just kind of felt very like go do these challenge. I don't know. The tennis aspect wasn't the draw.
Yeah. I also don't really like playing sports games in general, so that could be. But like my favorite sports game ever is NBA Jam on the GameCube.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, and I feel like that's what the Mario sports games are.
Or NBA Street. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the Mario games would lend themselves to that kind of thing because they're exaggerated sports, you know.
Yeah. That's exactly why I like NBA Street, because you get like the power ups and shit.
But yeah, something with the Switch's Mario sports games has just been fairly lackluster. And and then I don't know the specific names of the Mario Party games on Switch. I know there's 2 of them. The first one was not well received because it was basically very little content.
Right,
I'm kind of curious, like, is there
3
really
or 4 boards?
The new one, Superstar, right? Or
Yeah,
Superstars.
I mean, it launched in pretty good state and was fairly well received, and people were fairly excited. I don't know if they're to me. I don't know if they're gonna do anything because, like, hey, we gave you a real game this time. I hope.
True.
Because I know, like, I have a lot of friends that liking that game. I occasionally pop it on with the kids. But so we are getting close to time, and there's one final thing we got to talk about. I mean, it's the thing that brings us together. It's the thing that kind of molded this friendship. Breath of the Wild 2 is now no longer called Breath of the Wild 2, except in England. They have not revealed the title there.
Did anybody else find that just morbidly freaking hilarious?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, but also I was like, yeah.
It didn't even hit me until afterwards. I'm like, why are they not airing it in the UK? I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Like most everyone in the UK just watched the American stream.
Yeah.
But so Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. We don't know. I mean, other than the title, I don't feel like we know a lot more than what happened of what's going on in this game. We get a better.
I just want to know what they meant by they wouldn't want to release the title because it gave away gameplay aspects, and I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like,
did they say gameplay or just it would give too much?
Pretty sure they said it had something to do with the gameplay, is why they didn't want to drop the title yet. Unless I would have to go back and find the video, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
I thought I remember it saying they didn't want to give away the title just yet because it would just give too much about the game itself away.
I could be wrong,
I mean,
I don't know.
Both
something like that.
Both still present the question because, like, I know nothing more. I know nothing more about this game. I know Majora's Mask gave away more about gave me a better sense of what was going on than Tears of the Kingdom. But still, I mean, let's be honest, I'm going to be there day one. Probably going to buy 2 copies of that game because Katie's addicted to Breath of the Wild and still has to be 200 plus hours. So
yeah, if they don't have something like this guy with it, I'm going to be kind of confused. Like another Master Edition. That's going to be a little confusing if they don't.
Yeah, some special edition for sure. I think so.
I can't.
And if they randomly dropped that OLED Splatoon 3 Switch, if they don't come out with a Zelda one when that comes out, I'm going to be also highly surprised.
They do weird things like that where they won't do it for like a main flagship title, but then they'll do it for
Splatoon randomly gets one. That's just like I would like to think that they're not that silly. That would be instant money. Instant money.
Dude.
Well, now after week 1 of Japan sales, it seems like Splatoon 3 is like the new blockbuster title for them.
Well, I mean, I was listening to 8-4 Plays podcast, and they're like, at the Nintendo Tokyo store, there are 4 marquee characters: Mario, Link, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon.
Yep.
So Yeah.
I have the bag somewhere from when I went to that store, and I found it so odd. I was like, of course, P-brain me was just like, where's Kirby? And then I was like, such a rookie mistake. Well, that's Hal's character. Obviously, it's just under the Nintendo umbrella. But yeah, they do have Squid Kid, Inkling leading the charge, and then they have Link, Mario, and Animal Crossing. So yes, Splatoon 3, or Splatoon in general in Japan is just like, is crazy popular. And I'm glad it had its moment, because who knows, is there going to be a Splatoon 4, you'd think? I mean, I don't know. Like, but anyway.
Yeah, well, rewinding back, I can only think of one Legend of Zelda variant console. And even that's the Wii U.
Wii U, yeah.
Wii U had the one that came with a Zelda gamepad. There wasn't a Wii. There was a gold Nintendo. I mean, to be fair, they didn't really do that until the Switch. Now that I'm thinking about it,
but are you saying like home consoles? Because there's the Majora's Mask 3DS, there's the Hylian Shield 3DS, there's the Wii U, as you just said.
Okay, I forgot about the 3DS, the 2DS. I forgot about the DSs.
Okay, but yeah, you know what?
Home console, no.
Oh, there was more.
But like home consoles, there's really not. I think there was
the
like
Wii U was the only one. Now that I think of it, holy crap!
I think there was a gold Game Boy Pocket that was like special for Zelda. But I mean, I could see them not doing it. I mean, and you like they would be crazy not to. I'm like, how many times in our years of friendship have we talked about how crazy a decision was by Nintendo? Nintendo's craziness has fueled this relationship.
Yes, it has.
So
that is very true.
Yeah, anything y'all took away from the trailer? I mean, we're still in the mystery. Like, we know. I mean, there's kind of a Skyward Sword feel that we're going up into the clouds.
That's the thing that I was thinking of from the beginning, that it's going to connect to Skyward Sword somehow. I haven't played through enough of Skyward Sword to know what that may or may not be yet, but I think it's going to.
Oh my god. I've tried so many times with Skyward Sword.
I have too.
I've tried.
I never tried it on the Wii in the original weird motion sensing days.
Oh my god.
I have it on the Switch. I tried it for about like an hour. I'm like, well, this is good, but I can't seem to get into it just yet.
Yeah, I never played it. I've never played Skyward Sword, and I don't know why, but it was just the title that just didn't grab my attention.
You're not,
and it's crazy because I love Zelda,
there's some neat things because I now seem like, oh, they use that for Breath of the Wild. But beyond that, I'm just like, this is such a slog. The story is such a slog.
But the other thing is, I feel like Breath of the Wild kind of ruined me on that, because Breath of the Wild obviously came out first. We got years later, we have Skyward Sword comes out. Like, I don't like that I can't go anywhere anytime I want. So now I'm like, this is boring.
I would have thought that too, but I after Breath of the Wild, I went back and played Ocarina of Time and had a great time with it. Yeah,
but that is like nostalgic. We all played it. We generally all loved it.
No, like I actually don't think Ocarina of Time is that great. It's a good game.
But you're you.
That's fair. That's fair. But I could also go back and play Link to the Past and Spirit Tracks. I like Spirit Tracks.
Like we have like Link's Awakening.
Oh, and Link's Awakening. Well, and I mean that was the first Zelda game on the Switch after Breath of the Wild was Link's Awakening. That's a very linear.
I actually forgot about that, but yeah, that game was fantastic.
And that game was awesome. So I think it is Twilight, or not Twilight. I think it's Skyward Sword. It's not me. It's you. It's Skyward Sword, not you, but Skyward Sword. Like, the problems is with Skyward Sword.
Yeah. From a gameplay perspective, I do think that they're gonna mirror Hyrule in some way and just put it a level up, and then have you traverse between the two realms, or maybe like a lull roll or something. I'm really trying to figure out what's the big draw here, because the biggest draw with Breath of the Wild was the open world Zelda aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You can climb up and have like a free roaming feel to it. That was what radically changed the formula for them, and it paid off so well. But it's like, what merits the sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Is it story? Is it substantial gameplay elements? Is it redefining the open world genre in the Nintendo way? I'm really curious about. I'm hyped. I'm very hyped, and I'm gonna put so much time into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I'm actually kind of watching it from like a what merits this for you, Nintendo? And I've never really had that with Nintendo often, but I want to see what they're doing.
That's the whole reason why I think that's the connection is going to be that, because we all know like Breath of the Wild was apparently the end of all three of the timelines, and then Skyward Sword being the apparent beginning of all three of them. I think it's the beginning, correct? So that's why I was thinking, being the fact that they're both the end and the beginning, that they might have some sort of weird connection that they bridge.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's just my harebrained scheme. But what other Zelda game has like a good portion of it being like in this weird Sky Kingdom that we've only seen once? So
yeah, no, I mean, I think there's definitely a reason why they rocked out Skyward Sword. I think they even said like we're releasing Skyward Sword to kind of get you ready, because there's a tie tie-in.
I think there's going to be like a big one.
Which, that's cool. As long as it's got Breath of the Wild gameplay and not Skyward Sword gameplay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's true.
And so mystery-wise, we still have the weird arm. Link's got a guardian or something on his arm. His clothes are different, but we have no idea, once again, really
whether that Ganon is the same Ganon or like another Ganon or something like that, the one that he unearthed in the first trailer.
So,
like, infected Link, hand Link, really gives off like a fallen god kind of vibe.
Mm.
Like a deity that maybe is like in between a rock and a hard place in terms of like morally or something. It's just like it's an evil arm. It looks like, or an arm that doesn't look nice, and he looks like a Greek god or something, with his robe and the way his hair falls and everything.
It makes me wonder if Dark Link is going to make another reappearance since Twilight Princess. I think he showed up in.
Yeah,
maybe, or it's an internal struggle instead of the Blood Moon Rising. Like, evil Link takes over and like just goes back and repopulates the world with villains as you. So
I'm really interested about that.
Yeah.
Narratively, what are they trying to say narratively? Because it's the first Zelda sequel in a long time, right? I mean, like Majora's Mask is it Spirit Tracks? Like, those are some sequels I could think of, but
the 3DS
Spirit Tracks was the sequel to Wind Waker.
No,
right?
Spirit Tracks actually is the original one. It's Phantom Hourglass is a sequel to Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Like, is the same Link, but I mean, same art style, and maybe Minish Cap is too.
Yeah,
I think Minish Cap, was the connection.
So what are they trying to do? Like, is this going to be a first? Are they treading new ground with what's going to happen in this installment with Link and Zelda and Ganon? That's going to like kind of redefine those characters as well.
Yeah,
because
when we're going to get rehydrated Ganon.
I think we're gonna we're looking at something very similar to Majora's Mask. I think that's.
I would hope so. Majora's Mask is definitely my favorite one. I actually like Majora's better than I did Ocarina.
And now you're just being you.
Well, I am, so there.
But yeah, I mean, 5/12/2023. We'll be there.
And if all works out, David's going to be in New York City with me.
Dude, I was thinking about that. And also, they announced E3 today, some dates.
Oh, did they?
Okay.
They finally announced some dates?
Yeah, so next year. And they're going to have a press day and a consumer day. So we can all make a big trip and make a E3.
I'm down when they put tickets on sale. I still hold out that I don't think E3 is going to happen again. I still think they've screwed the pooch too many times, and there's too much competition now.
I think it's just very eerie that I think I have a picture where it's like, see you next year, 2020, right? And it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
On the way out, I remember Ken and Steve and I were walking out through that little banner. So, but I think it would be fun to get the whole gang together and go check it out for sure.
I'd be down. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in my life day to day, let alone month to month, year to year. But that brings us up to a nice wrapping up point. Devin, Ratboy Collectibles, tell people again where they can find you and what you're up to these days.
Well, I'm Ratboy Collectibles on TikTok. I also have the YouTube channel of Ratboy Collectibles, but I haven't really posted up a lot on there lately. I will be getting back in the saddle of that eventually, but we'll get there soon. But otherwise from that, that's the only socials that I'm currently on at the moment.
And David Castillo, the man, the myth, the legend. Where can people find you again?
If you look, I think my channel is DJ Castle on YouTube.
Nice.
If it's there, there's some stuff there that you can watch. A lot old, and then a very very infant stage Twitch channel where I just have like 2-3 gameplays up from The Last of Us remastered or remake. Other than that, not really much else. You can find stuff from like Move Over Kids podcast, and then the only episode so far of Bandana Gamers channel. So that's really all where you can find me at the moment.
Well, and if you look at a full moon and just kind of feel your heart, you will get a sense that David is there.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
And of course, I am Bandana Gamer, the one and only, and if you're looking for me, you have found me. I'm here, and you've clicked on the things, so kudos. There's a like button, there's a subscribe button. You do what you want to do. You do what you feel called to do, what you feel led to do. I ain't going to tell you to hit it, but if you want to, hey, good for you. And, I think there's only one way to sign this one off, and it's dangerous to go alone. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace, guys.